Welcome back to Psychology of Humans. Milarepa's story is one of the most dramatic transformations in the history of human psychology. He did not begin as a wise teacher. He began as a man consumed by anger, revenge, and destructive intention. Milarepa's life forces us to confront a difficult question. Can someone who has caused great harm truly transform? His answer was not theoretical. It was lived. A childhood of betrayal. Milarepa was born in Tibet around the 11th century. When his father died, relatives seized the family's property and reduced Milarepa, his mother, and sister to servants in their own home. The humiliation and injustice planted deep anger. His mother demanded revenge. Milarepa eventually learned sorcery and used it to destroy his enemies. But revenge did not bring relief. Instead, it brought overwhelming guilt. Psychologically, guilt can function in two ways. It can paralyze a person in shame, or it can become the beginning of transformation. For Milarepa, guilt became unbearable. He recognized that his actions had created suffering far beyond what he intended. The weight of this realization pushed him towards spiritual training. Meeting the teacher, Milarepa sought out a master named Marpa, hoping for guidance and redemption. But Marpa did not offer comfort. Instead, he subjected Milarepa to years of exhausting labor. He was ordered to build towers by hand, stone by stone. Then Marpa would command him to tear them down and start again. This cycle repeated for years. This process served two purposes. First, it broke Milarepa's ego, the identity built around anger. Second, it forced him to face himself without distraction. Suffering as psychological refinement. Milarepa's training was not punishment. It was transformation. Hardship stripped away the illusions he used to justify his past. Instead of escaping guilt, he learned to sit with it. Instead of blaming others, he examined his own mind. Gradually, something changed. The anger that once controlled him softened. The guilt that once crushed him became humility. The suffering became discipline. Solitude and inner work. After completing his training, Milarepa retreated into the mountains. He lived in caves, surviving on simple food like nettles. This period of solitude was not escape. It was psychological confrontation. Without social distraction, the mind reveals its patterns clearly. Over time, these mental patterns weakened. Milarepa eventually became known as one of Tibet's greatest spiritual teachers. What made his story powerful was transformation. He proved identity is not fixed. A person defined by anger can become defined by compassion. Milarepa did not deny his past. He acknowledged it openly, but he refused to let it permanently define him. Transformation requires responsibility, accountability, and learning, but it cannot survive under endless self-hatred. Hardship can become a teacher when the mind stops resisting it. Pain reveals attachment, ego, and illusion. Modern psychology reflects this through post-traumatic growth. Struggle, when processed constructively, can deepen resilience and wisdom. In a world where people feel trapped by mistakes, Milarepa reminds us, you are not permanently defined by your worst actions. Your past may shape you, but it does not have to imprison you. Thanks for watching Psychology of Humans.